Yep. Nice and easy. We're done with that though. Is the jump rope? Yeah. Whenever I skip rope, I can't use these wireless headphones. They fall right out of my ears. So of course, it would be helpful if I could get the rope itself not to fall out of my hands. Finish my protein shake and then we'll hit this. New name, who this? Yes, sir. For those of you who don't know me, my name is BullMuscle. For those of you who know me as Beer Battered Ag, yes, I'm going through a rebrand. This seems like a pretty good time to talk about that, so let's go ahead and talk about it. I'm a die-hard Aggie.
The eyes of Texas are upon you. That is the song they sing so well. Sounds like hell! So goodbye to Texas University. We're gonna beat you all to chigger-a-rim, rough, tough, real stuff, Texas A&M. Goodbye.
We get a little bit more all. So why can't I click all? Oh, yeah, there it goes. Nice. All right, let's do one more bronze bar. If you adopt the mindset, and this is a quote from Jacob Fisker of Early Retirement Extreme, if you know that guy, 10 points to you. But it's a quote that I find unbelievably poignant in today's era. Spending money represents a failure to solve one's problems by smarter means. I'm gonna repeat that. Spending money represents a failure to solve one's problems by smarter means. That's painful. But yes, my friends, pure. Good morning, everyone. Welcome on in. Hey, Severus, good to see you. Good to see you. Very happy you're in here. I did update the BRB, so thank you for that. Actually did want to talk to you about a couple other things today. So let me move the camera, get it set up here. I actually wanted to ask you a couple of things. The first one is about the lighting. I know you had mentioned, so I've had some interesting feedback on this. I've had some people tell me the lighting is actually better with the lights off. That is currently the case. But you mentioned it was looking a bit dark, so I want to actually test that while you're in here. Oh, for God's sake. Okay, so this is with 3 of the 4 ballast lights on. The 4th one's being a bitch this morning. Come on. This is a bitch. You don't work with me. Damn it. Got it. Oh, for fuck's sake. Now it's not working at all. I think I might have just shorted it, so I guess we're gonna go lights off for today. Looks like I have an electrical problem with this. Oh well. Good morning to you, Killer Hulk. Welcome on in. So, moving on from the minor electrical infidelity we've had this morning, I want to talk a little bit about what our workout plan has been and what I think I want to change it to. First things first though, it is 38-ish degrees in here. It's a little bit chilly this morning, and with what I want to do today, I need to start warming up. So I'm gonna get a little bit of jump rope going. Nothing too crazy, just crazy. So, Where are we at? Okay. The last 2 weeks, as y'all know, I've been doing super squats. And, oh wow, welcome on in, Killer Hulk. That's a lot of emojis there. You'll have to excuse me for that. Unfortunately, due to this funk I've had for the last just about 2 weeks as well, I've not been at 100%. I've been struggling through super squats with first a cold and now what I think is a sinus infection. If I kind of headbang like that with my mouth open, I can feel the fluid sloshing in my front sinus. Nothing I can really do about that, assuming it's viral. I don't think it's bacterial, but it could be. So ultimately, what it means is it sucks, but there's nothing to be done about it. So you gotta make do. Anywho, where am I going with this? Where I was going with this is very simple. I had been doing super squats, sort of because I wanted to, but I'd been modifying it to meet my schedule. I had been, only doing it twice a week instead of 3 times a week, and I was getting to the point where I was not happy with the amount of volume I've been doing, and there's some other programs I want to try in the remaining time I've got on the bulk cycle. So I think I'm going to, I know, I've decided I'm going to end super squats and I'm going to try something different. So that's what we're going to do today. Need antibiotics? Well, see, I might not. That's the thing. If it's viral, antibiotics are going to do nothing. And the likelihood of it being viral is much higher than the likelihood of it being bacterial. I'm actually, while we're here, just do some basic high bar squats to warm up. So where does that leave us? Well, today, what I want to do is start a different program. This program is Alexander Bromley's 70s Powerlifter. I'm going to do the volumizing half, and then I'm going to do an abridged equivalent to the intensifying half. I don't know how much time, by the time I get to the intensifying half, it'll be well into February, I believe. See, it's 9 weeks, that would be, yeah, I'd be into February at that point. And so I'd have a few weeks to do the intensifying half, but how many is going to be dependent on a lot of different factors, which I don't know yet. But I like the way it looks. I really trust Bromley. I think he's a really smart dude. I like his YouTube channel a lot. And I'm ready for trying something new. So that's what we're going to do. So we are going to abandon super squats a week or two before I was going to, but the other thing is, okay, between you and me, super squats is a very love-hate relationship. I love how strong I get on that program, but it's intense to the point of being debilitating. Like, just moving around the rest of the day is really hard. And the dread, that butterfly, nausea feeling, the anxiety I was getting before those 20 rep sets is just fucking miserable. It's not fun. And that's the thing to remember, right? I am an amateur lifter. I am not a professional. I'm doing this for my own mental health. I'm doing this for my own sense of joy. And I've done the Super Squats program before. So if I'm continuing to do something and it's becoming not fun, I'm dreading going in here to lift, that's not good. I want to enjoy lifting. I still want to get sore. I still want to have a great workout. I still want to bust ass. But there's a fine line between doing that and going so hard that the rest of your day is kind of shot. And that's the point I was getting to. So I'm deciding to make a little bit of a command decision and make a change. So there you go. Oh God. Okay. So, where does that leave us for today? So, Alex Bromley's 70s Powerlifter program starts with, it's a 4-day-a-week program, that's good for me. I think that's enough, it's enough rest to where I feel like I'm getting a pretty good go of it. It's 2 upper, 2 lower. You have a squat day. I think you're supposed to go bench day, squat day, break, press day, deadlift day, or something like that. I'm gonna do it slightly differently because of how my schedule works. So I'm gonna do squats Friday, press Saturday, rest Sunday, rest Monday, deadlift Tuesday, bench Wednesday, rest Thursday, squat Friday. So it's the same workouts, it's just the breaks are slightly different. I don't think that's a problem. I think unfortunately, right, the way my schedule is, it just works better for me to do it in that way because I don't have a squat rack at the site gym, so I want to be doing the squats on the weekend. And because I don't have a squat rack at the site gym, doing press, right, having an appropriate height bar to press, I don't have that at the gym. So behind the neck press is really difficult. I have to basically clean it off the bench at the beginning, and that's energy wasted. Chiseled Adonis and Tree, welcome to hell, Yinzers. Here's a modified version of super squats, 10 sets pyramiding up and down. My legs hated me. So the thing with super squats is, I don't think that's quite the same. The whole point of super squats is you're only doing one squat set, but that squat set is so hard that it effectively gives you the training of multiple. Anyway, I'm gonna continue warming up here, and I'm keeping the sweatshirt on just for now. It'll come off. Right now, what I'm trying to do is warm up as much as I can because I think I'm going to attempt to try max today. Good. That's good. Oh, the other thing is I'm going to be rating Limitless Fitness today. She is doing a charity stream for a good friend of hers who is on some hard times. So that's what we're going to rate today. Really strongly encourage y'all to come in and be part of that. Figure out, I gotta be a little intelligent with how I do this. I'm gonna do, I think, just a 5 or so reps at 215, really warm it up. Modified versions, yeah. So that's the thing. If you're gonna run super squats, I recommend really just reading the book and doing it exactly as the book tells you to. I won't lie to you, it's really fucking hard. It's not fun. But it's very valuable in teaching you just how hard you can go, just how much you can put your body through. So, anyway, so what is Alex Bromley's 70s Powerlifter program? Today, that's gonna involve 3 sets of 10 at 60% of my max, and that's why I'm gonna max today. I have an idea of what my max is, but I haven't maxed for about 9 months, so I don't really know. So I'm gonna go 60% of the max, so I'm guessing my max will be somewhere around the range of 400 pounds. So 3 by 10 at 60% should be easy. It's said that the first workout, you're still gonna want, RPE of 6 to 7 tops, have a couple extra reps in the bank. This is a volumizing workout. In other words, next week it'll be 4 by 10. The week after it'll be 5 by 10. And then you go to the second wave where it's 3 by 8, 4 by 8, 5 by 8. And then the third, 3 by 5, 4 by 5, 5 by 5. The idea is you're ramping up the weight, you're ramping up the volume, but you can see where it's going. Go Navy, beat Army. Nope, I'm still rooting for Army unless that job offer comes through. So, I have a good reason though. My grandfather was West Point, class of 47, so there is some reason. There's a method to my madness there. All right, so this is 215. We're gonna just wrap this for a few sets, or for a few reps. Really get nice and warm. Perfect. All right, let's do this. So it's going to be three sets of 10 at 60. Then we're going to do 2 sets of 10 at variations. So that's going to be, I think, wide squats and front squats. We're going to go for, again, RPE of 6 to 7. And then we're going to do lunges. I'm probably going to throw in some calves because I think calves kind of work really well with this workout. And I don't want to go, 9 weeks without doing any calf exercises. So that's how we're going to do it. All right. So that felt pretty easy, as it should. I'm going to next go up to 305. Get a couple extra reps. The idea again being just kind of getting used to the weight, really warming up slowly. Oops. Gotta take the clip off before I add more weight. Not much of a point to that. All right. I do think I'm gonna shed the top layer. So, all right, here we go. So we're gonna hit 305. Just for a couple of reps again. We're just trying to warm up. Trying to hit this good. I think what I'm gonna do is this is 305. I'm gonna hit this for 3, and then I'm gonna hit 355 for 1. I should have 0 problems at 355. That sucker should come up right around like that. Again, it's a function of, not wanting to hurt myself, basically. So, keep that in mind. And then after the 355 set, I'm gonna go inside, probably take a dump, because I can feel my body being like, we're gonna do this today? Well, please let me get everything out of my colon. Plus that way I can debut my new BRB, which is kind of neat. All right, this should be easy. Go for 3. Actually, at this point, I kind of want to do this as well. The dorsal flexion. squeeze flat-footed. That didn't feel as comfortable as I was hoping it would. I might play around with this a little bit more. That's a bit of a worry. All right. 355. Again, should really have no issue doing this. Should go up pretty smooth. Hey, Spellwork, good to see you. Welcome on in. Good to have you. I do think, because I'm more used to it at this point, I got a shirt off. So, what we're doing here, this is 355 pounds. We're gonna go for a max today. This should not be my max. I don't think it will be my max. We're gonna go higher than this. Bro doesn't carry the boot seats. I'm looking huge. I appreciate that. Call Memzalt. Thank you for the first time chat. Welcome to the bullpen. Kareem, good to see you. Good morning. I'm doing okay. Still suffering a bit from this sinus funk, which is really disappointing. Oh, well, yeah, I mean, that's the reason I had that in the sweatshirt on. It's, let's see, it's like maybe 50 degrees in here. It's not warm, which is good. I want it that way, but you know, gotta be, I want to warm my body up, right? If I'm gonna go for a max, I need to be warm, need to be ready, need to be hitting this. So, all right, this is, yeah, it's like, it's hard, really. I do wonder if the lighting could be improved. Let me try to unfuck this again. Damn thing just does not want to stay on. Does that help at all? Not really. No, it doesn't. All right. Okay. So enough cocking around. We're gonna hit this. This should be pretty easy. Go down for one, go up for one. And then we're gonna figure out where we want to go for a max. 355 should not be any issue at all for us. This should come up real nice and easy. Down one, up one. I do need to blow my nose again. This fucking sinus infection. Oh, it's disgusting. You see the risk of injury? Yeah. All right, so let's see here. Yep. 135, 125, 215, 305, 355. Let's do this. Easy. Yeah, that's not bad. Okay. That felt pretty good. Came up easy, went down easy. Then come up. Hit cast just a moment. Kind of get used to the heavier weight for a bit. Okay, so how'd that look? Did that look pretty? Felt like pretty clean? It felt pretty clean. Felt like it went up easy, went down easy. Felt like my depth was there. Obviously, I can't see it in real time, so kind of have to do a little estimation. Now, question is, what do we want to push for here? PR all time is 405. So the question now becomes, where do we want to go from here? Do we want to send it, go 410? Do we want to test the waters at maybe 385? There's 30 for 30 about the 97 Heisman race. Ooh, that'll be good. I don't think it's going to get any easier. I think we're going to send it. I think I'm going to go for the full 410. For this one, move you onto the side profile. We go in, take a shit because at this level of weight, right, this is just a 1 rep max. This level of weight, I just need to be able to fucking send it. Not think very hard about it. So, 410 pounds. Actually, what I'm going to do, just real briefly, guys, I'm going to put the weight on my shoulders so I can get a feel for it. I'm not gonna send it right now. I'm gonna send it with the belt tight. No, that's not that bad. Yeah, I can squat that. I bet I can squat that. That doesn't feel near as scary as I was thinking it would feel. I think that's going to go down and come back up. Okay, so just for reference, 35, 125, 215, 305, 355, 405, 410. So I haven't ever done 410 before, but that is something I think I can do. But before we do that, what I am going to go do is head inside and evacuate everything in my digestive system because that seems like a good way to play it safe. So you're going to see my little BRB screen. I'll be back in a minute or 2 or 3. Okay? Cheers. Be right back.
All right. Hey, Limitless. Good to see you. Yeah, don't worry. I'll raid you. So this is 410. I haven't ever done 410 before. We're gonna see what it's like. I'm nervous, but I think I got this. It felt like it was coming up pretty easy on the calves. So what I'm gonna do now is move you guys over a bit. All right, hang on a second. There we go. Sorry about that. So again, 125, 215, 305, 355, 405, 410. This would be a PR. I think I'm gonna get it. We're gonna find out. We're gonna move over here. All right. Now, please, let me be further back. There we go. So please, depth check me, right? Real simple. We want to be at parallel. So crease of the hips should be at the top of the kneecaps. Normally I'll give myself a little leeway, but if this is a max, I really should be hitting that. That's kind of the whole point. So, all right. I'm gonna psych myself up. I'm gonna fucking do this. I haven't squatted this much weight on ever, actually, ever. I need the right music for this. I think I'm gonna go with I Don't Want to Stop by Ozzy Osbourne. Okay. Just give me a moment to psych myself up. I know this seems excessive, but for a 1 rep max, it's gonna be worth it. Lightweight, strong like bull. Fucking wait. Let's go. I don't know if that was deep enough. It didn't feel bad. Did I hit parallel? Dizzy as foot. Oh my god, I'm dizzy. Did I hit parallel? Simple as. Did I fucking hit parallel? I don't feel like I did. If I didn't hit parallel, I'm going to try it again in a few minutes. Did I hit parallel or not? Oh, if one of y'all wants to clip it, that works too. Parallel, yes. Okay, y'all are saying I did hit it. That's good to know. If I hit it, then we have a new PR. I feel like I wasn't deep enough. I can't tell if that's just my own illusion, but like, that hurts. Like, my teeth were hurting coming up on that. All right, so that's, I got Big Red, I got someone, and I got Sever saying I hit parallel. In that case, I'm gonna go ahead and claim I did it. Well, hell yeah, then we got a PR. For a second, I thought I hit the water bottle. 14, 15, 16, 17, 19, 20. All right, that's not bad. So yes, I did. All right. Trusting y'all on that. I'm gonna see if I can view it on Twitch real quick. This is my own paranoia. I apologize. Can I not go back? Oh, bloody hell. Color change on your shorts is great for seeing you made it parallel. All right. Well, I trust you guys. If I hit 410, I wish I could see it. That's annoying. Oh well. Part of me wants to do it again just for getting used to that kind of weight. Zombie Electric Head Part 2. All right, would it be a stupid idea for me to attempt 415? I feel like I kind of want to. Should I do that? I think I might. I think I might give 415 a try. I don't feel too burned up. All right. I'm gonna give 415 a try. I think I can get it. We'll find it out. I almost feel more comfortable trying something like that again just because I've now had the weight on there. This is going to be effectively the same way. I have 5 more pounds. I didn't really move the meter that much. Yeah, I'm going to give it another shot. What, bull worry? Ha. Zombie Electric Head Part 2. Yeah, it's going to be a minute. For this, I'm going to hit, I think I'm going to do dominance and submission by Blue Oyster Cult just for the, because I know it works for super squats. Hey, Dalton, good to see you. Why is this disconnected now? Devices. There we go, much better. Yeah, I'm gonna try this one more time. I definitely feel like I was deep enough, but if I was, I feel like I got a little bit more in me. I don't know why, I I had a bug in my ass about that. It just didn't feel deep enough. Hey, Nightmare Thief, good to see you. Yeah, one of y'all clip this. I definitely want to see it. I think I've got this. I really do. You got this. All right. 35, 125, 215, 305, 355, 405, 415. That's okay, Limitless. Someone else is doing it. That's all that matters. Through radio. Get fucking pissed off. I shredded my fucking finger there. I rolled back. Ah! God damn, that hurt. Ow. Okay. Alright, well. I just ripped off a chunk of my finger. Ah. Damn it! Alright, well, 410 is the highest we're going today. That's a pretty good sign. I feel like I should have. I don't know what the hell happened there. I feel like I had the strength. God, that's. Yeah, I just ripped off an entire layer of my skin there. Fuck! Man! I feel like the strength is there. Something didn't go right. Well, that's it for today. We're not doing this. We're gonna head back down. Okay, so 410's the max. So now we're gonna do 3 sets of 10 at 60%. So this should be pretty easy. All right, well, I failed on 415, so that's where we're at. Jesus Christ, this hurts. Yeah, I completely shredded off a chunk of the skin on one of my pinkies. I dropped it. God, I'm pissed off at myself. How did I feel like I didn't even get close? Okay. Well, and if it failed, if I go back and I say, hey, 410 wasn't deep enough, fuck it, then 405 is still my PR. I know I got 405 deep enough. Okay, so this is 215. Put that back up. So 60% 410. That's going to be about 250, something like that. Should be pretty easy. Jesus, yeah, that's not good. So. This is basically an ass to grass squat. Ooh. That's... I need to do math on this. I think it's like 250. See, 60%. Yeah, it's 246. So we'll say 250. All right, that's easy enough. I'm done dicking around though. Let's start the actual 70s powerlifting workout. These look at S tier. Well, they just failed, so I'm giving them F tier today. Not happy with that. Failed at 415. Oh, that's bleeding. All right, a little bit of gore. Yeah, look at that bad boy. It's not too deep, but definitely doesn't feel good either. All right. What's interesting too is I think dominance and submission works a lot better for those breathing 20 rep squats than it does for a 1 rep max. All right, so there's 245, 250, 250. Awesome. Okay. Let's do a set of 10. Let's start. All right, that wasn't too bad. All right. Anyways, to the rockstar eyes. You see, he lost balance on the way down. Like front to back balance, that's what it was. Sometimes that happens. But no, I think my CNS wouldn't allow me a third attempt at 400 plus, so. I just hope Squats, notice your hips are tilted forward. Yeah, I get the sort of the horse bit, where it's like a little bit of the hip tilt where it's like almost like this. That's not good. You can feel it in your lower back. I certainly do. I think in attempting to really hit that on 415, I maybe put my lower back into it a bit too much, and that's why I failed. Hey, howdy, Barrett. Good to see you. But that's frustrating. It's what it is. Nothing I can do about it now, but it sucks. Or were you talking about on that last set? See, I should have no issues squatting this. This is only 250. I mean, this is, you know, he's saying on this workout, it should be easy. I should be hitting, you know, I should have 3+ reps left in the tank. And obviously, if I was able to do a 20 rep, you know, 280 to 315, obviously I've got more in the tank at 250. I mean, if I failed a max at 415, but I hit a max at 410, we know what the max is. And this is 60%, so that's what I'm gonna do. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna do these. Might try the next set flat foot. Yeah, I'll try this flat foot and see how that feels. Come on. Put some hydro, peroxide, neosporin, and bond bandage. Yeah, this position of limbs are leaning forward in a posture. Are you talking about at the top? So at the top of the low bar squat, you are going to be slightly tilted forward. So that's normal. But when you say at the neutral position, are you talking, what is the neutral position? Is that the top? Is that the bottom? So, let's see. All right, one more set of squats. We'll do a set of pullovers. Okay, so at the top, your hips are leaning forward in a posterior position. So you're talking like, so at the top I'm doing like this, where the butt's like, kind of almost like, you know, curved back, and I'm not straight up. There's a little bit of that's normal, but yeah, definitely puts a little bit extra strain on the lower back. Oh, the opposite. So the top I'm more like, almost like this. Kind of almost a touch, almost looks like I'm hunched a bit. This is interesting feedback, and I'm going to go back and look at the VOD, because it's very difficult to be able to correct that in real time, but knowing is very useful feedback. Interesting. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Can't control that butt's gonna do what it do. I mean, no, but this is useful. You know, tweaking the form here or there can be the difference in failing or succeeding at a rate, you know, at 5, 10, 20 pounds more. Not me watching it work. Ha. I think Zone always does that too. Okay, yeah, so as soon as I start to go down, I correct it. So I think part of that is whatever is the most natural for me to try and breathe, get oxygen into my system at the top. But it's still really interesting. That's definitely worth looking at. All right, let's do a third set of squat here. And then I'm gonna do, so it's 2 by 10 for front squats and then wide bar squats. Or wide squats. Now I haven't ever done wide squats. Not really. Wide squat's gonna be out here like that. That's gonna be almost kind of a high bar. So I think the idea is you wanna have RP 6 to 7. Perfect hip tilt. I'm gonna look at that real quick. So I think the idea for the wide squat is going to be, you know, greater range of motion, really work on that. Okay, look at your hips at the top of the movement. Yeah, I want to view that. I'll watch it work too. Well, someone, I would hope you would. I mean, you ain't got nothing better to do, unless something happens, in which case, yeah. Okay. So yeah, it's almost like I'm kind of doing this at the top. Which I guess makes sense if I've got the scapulae locked where I'm making a shelf from a low bar. Interesting. I'm not sure what, if anything, I should do to correct that. That is definitely a useful clip. Thank you, Crossbow. I really appreciate that. All right. Last set of squats. Come on. I think I'm going to stick to doing it flat-footed for this. And I'm not sure whether or not sticking a plate underneath my shoes helps. The idea is it's supposed to mimic squat shoes, give me a little bit of advantage where the dorsal flexion might not be. Hey, Echo Seed, you? I don't know how to say that. Thank you very much for the follow. Welcome in. Come on, strong leg roll. 2, 3, 4. I'm going to throw plates back on. Let's take a calves. So that'll be 355. I like that. Hunter Biden faces. Dude, it's a fucking joke. The Bidens are. See, I have some good hip mobility, or is it tight? I think in general my mobility is ass. I'm not a very strong like bull, flexible like concrete cinder block. It doesn't surprise me that Hunter's in hot water again. Dude needs to be put in jail. I mean, it's very obvious. He's an addict, he's corrupt as hell, and he's actively causing problems for U.S. national security. Lock him up. Real simple. Everybody wants to say, oh, well, what Hunter's doing is gonna, have problems with Joe. That's as maybe, but you gotta remember, I don't think Joe is running the scenes. So, what you can't do is tell me, right? What you can't do, and I see Republicans do this a lot. You can't sit here and tell me, oh, Hunter Biden is selling access to Joe, but you can't then also say, oh, Joe's just a puppet. He's a senile old bag who isn't actually controlling anything behind the scenes. You have to believe one of those. You can't really believe both. It doesn't work that way. Because if Joe really was just a puppet and he was just senile, all that, yada, 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 well, Hunter would be selling access to nothing. All right, let's get a little bit of calves going. Ooh, yeah, that's 355, that's heavy. There we go. Guns and Gains, Lesbian Hot Sauce, that's a name. Welcome to the bullpen. Welcome to First Time Chat. I would say my mobility in most areas is pretty poor. I'm kind of hoping the wide squats and the front squats I do today will help. All right. So we're gonna hit this for 2 more sets. And I know I'm adding volume to the workout, but I feel like doing a squat day without calves, it feels somewhat incomplete to me. Oh, you're on leg day? Yup. Women who does weights. Fuck yes. Alright. Yo, if you're a woman and you actually are willing to get under a squat rack, please let me just say thank you, because one of the most toxic bullshit myths out there is that women are going to get big the same way a man does if they lift anything more than a 5-pound dumbbell. You know, women are all too often told, mostly by their own gender, oh no, you gotta stick to the light weights, that'll keep you toned. Toning is bullshit, that's basically cardio. So, no, if you're a woman fighting that fucking toxic myth, much respect. Yeah, I'm on leg day. I hit 410. I don't know how deep I was. I'm gonna look at the VOD later. And then I failed on 415, so fuck that. Get guns, be swole, steal ladies' hearts. Love hanging in the gym, do rows of positivity like you. Fam, that's such a mood. The trouble is, I live out in the sticks, so the obesity rate's 50% here, and nobody else is really all that serious in the lifting. Alright, ask it. Alright, so I think I'm going to do the wide squat sets beltless, see how they feel. Yeah, I'm a very big fan of being positive. And I don't ever fat shame people. I will excuse shame you, but I'm not going to fat shame you. There's a phrase my roommate Dodger loves to say, but it's true. Don't compare your chapter 1 to other people's chapter 15. Your traps are huge. Some exercise to do for that. So those traps will get big. All right. So for traps, two big ones I do are obviously the shrug. I like holding it kind of at the top for a few seconds. Now I do this with 3 different varieties, depending on the day. First is going to be dumbbells. I think that one's pretty self-explanatory. Second's going to be a barbell. You go with double overhand grip. That one's going to test a little bit more of the front end of your traps, your grip strength. And the third one is going to be with a hex bar or a trap bar. That's this thing over here. It sounds like you know what the fuck you're doing in the gym, so I don't need to tell you what a hex bar is, but in case you didn't know, that's what it is. That's the first exercise. The second exercise I do, some people call them front raises. I don't, because I think a front raise is this. I call these vertical flies. You can say whatever, you call it whatever the hell you want to, but you have a flat bar or 2 dumbbells, you go like this, right? And the key, right, I'm gonna kind of squat down so you can see it more accurately, right? Or just get on my knees. So the key when you're doing these, okay, is when you're coming up, don't just do this. Engage your traps. So, right, come up here with it. You don't want to just do this. You want to come all the way up here. You want to be engaging those trap muscles. That'll help. The other one is the back end. So if you have a fly machine or cable flies at the gym, you want to start here or start here, and like that. Now that's going to work more of your backs or delts, but it'll still work a little bit of the back end of your traps. Back to where you and I, we see more folk content to look like a hot mess instead of striving to be well. Honey Boo Boo was a documentary, unfortunately, but yes. Thought about standing on a plate during calf raises for a larger range of motion. I'd have to put the plate on my toes, but that's actually a really good idea. I should be doing that. That's a good call. I'm gonna write that down. That's smart. Plate in future. That's actually really smart. I like that. I'm gonna do that. All right. So where were we? 215. We're gonna do wide set squats. I'm gonna try doing these high bar. Try to keep my back very close to vertical. It's a general idea. So hot sauce. I don't know whereabouts you're at, but if you're ever in the southeast and you're feeling like coming through for a lift, hit a bro up. I'm on Discord too. Because 100% would love to find other people to chill and work out with. My guess is you probably live in California or some other communist republic. Don't mind me, just captain ideas out here. I'm in the UK. Oh God, bless your heart. I'm so sorry. Got some shizzle at home. Sometimes go to the gym. Can't at the moment because of health stuff, but you do what you said for sure. My condolences. Although, hey, speaking of the UK, I was actually going to play one of the UK's greatest contributions to the world, Black Sabbath. Look. All right, so I guess I need to explain whereabouts I'm from. I'm not just a proud American, but I'm a proud Southerner as well. So I look at Europe and I'm like, hard pass. There's some things y'all do better than us. But nah, hard pass. I'm gonna stick to the US. I don't really have a choice anyway. I'm a nuclear worker, so I can't leave. What's the flag for? Because America's fucking awesome, that's why. And the blue flag with the palmetto is the state flag of South Carolina, my current residence. The fun part too is a lot of Europeans will give Americans grief, and rightfully so, for like not knowing which, like if you have a map without labels on it, you know, you'll have Americans constantly mislabeling European countries. But do one with US states and Europeans get it so wrong. The other one? The Wilson Fight Club. That's one of my favorite hockey players, a guy by the name of Tom Wilson. He's known for fighting people, scoring goals, and hitting really hard. So, the blue, yeah, okay, yeah, the blue is, yeah, it's the state tree, which is the palmetto. We call ourselves the Palmetto State for a reason. They are ubiquitous. Much of the time, if you enter South Carolina, say across the Savannah River coming from Georgia, you will see palmettos lined up at the state line because we're just very proud of that here. Now, I'm not a native South Carolinian. I'm really just a native Southerner, but in general, I have a very strong fondness for the Deep South. I've spent lots of time in the USA. I mean, I love being European. There are good and bad things everywhere. Yeah, exactly. No, I haven't been across the pond in many years. And again, until I exit my industry, I can't. All right, let's do this. Black Sabbath by Black Sabbath. I forget what song you asked for earlier, Big Red. So after this one, remind me of what it is and I'll play it, because I feel bad. Here we go. Wide squats. Eight. Nine. Oh, 10. Oh, I feel that in my sternum. Let's go. One more. Okay, that's good. How often do you train calves? Usually I train calves for a few sets every time I do a leg day. Andrew, good to see you. Jordan, hey, good to see you. Everyone hates leg day. White Zombie Electric Head, got it. Part 2. By the way, if you thought Black Sabbath by Black Sabbath wasn't a heavy enough song, go listen to the official video. Like the live, it's sung live from like 1970. Somehow even heavier than the studio track. And that song right there, that is the birth of heavy metal. I think I'm gonna go out of an abundance of caution because I put so much stress on my core at this point. I am gonna keep my belt on for this next set. It's just safer. Can you flex your calves, please? I just finished calves steaks. I did my workout this morning. What you eating after this? Probably drinking a fair amount of milk. I'm not actually sure yet. It's a good question. Live songs usually hit different in the studio. I very seldom like a live song because there's usually too much crowd noise. But on this version, there is none. There's very, very few live songs I really gravitate towards. What's up? Leg day. I sat watching while eating steak. I'm trying to think of what else I'm gonna eat after this. Put some peanut butter. So I'm on a bulk cycle right now. Macro targets are 250 grams of protein minimum, 3,500 calories to, well, really anywhere between 3,500 and 4,500. Hard to think one bad dream from Geezer Butler started a music revolution. Yup. Yeah, apparently he was sick, like he had a fever. And so it was a fever dream that he had, which is what inspired Black Sabbath by Black Sabbath. Do you have a 6 or 8 pack? I did. Not right now. There's some definition, right? If I, one, 2, 3, kind of hard to tell in this lighting, but what definition is there has kind of faded away over the last couple of weeks. Again, I'm on a bulk cycle, that's to be expected. My body fat percentage is up right now, which sucks, but you gotta build muscle too. So once you get to, a few years of lifting experience, you kind of have to get to that point. There we go. Okay. Here's a 10 pack, which reflexes too hard, cause the heat death of the universe. Ha, I wish. Paul McCartney's Coming Up song is better than live in the studio version. All right, I'm just gonna play that song you said, White Zombie Electric Head, Part 2. I've heard Black Sabbath enough times. White Zombie Electric Head, Part 2. Got it. The Ecstasy. Let's do this. All right. These are high bar, wide stance, highly canted squats. I'm going to do them from the back side this time. I feel like that's a wise idea. There we go. 2, 3. Okay, and the belt mix is easier. I think it's just a confidence thing. I'm new to these. Come on. Not done. Oh. All right. Move to front squats. Go for 185, I think. Can you explain how you control your muscles? For example, how can you move your chest? You mean like pec bouncing? That just comes from push-ups and bench press. A lot of practice. I'm going to try one other thing. This one I'm going to do the front squats. I'm going to try maybe giving myself a bit more ankle flexion, increasing the range of motion. I'm deciding whether or not I want to do this with a lift on the heels. Yeah, so just being able to like move, like bounce one's pecs, that comes from just lots and lots of bench press. I recommend dumbbell bench as well, and dumbbell chest flies, because you're working each part of your pecs individually instead of working them together in tandem. So that's my recommendation. Let's go going for the one by yes. All right. The other thing, today's Financial Fitness Friday, so we'll be doing that. So we got 2 sets of front squat at 10 reps. Yeah, okay. I think I'm gonna attempt these off of the platform and just see how it feels and go from there. I don't know how that's gonna feel. I wanna maximize range. Can you move your pecs together one by one? I can, but if you want me to do that, you gotta redeem channel points. You know how to do that. You've been around here long enough, Christy. Bottom left corner, channel points. If you want to see me bounce my pecs, you can redeem channel points for it. I know that's what you're looking for me to do. Gotta have the channel points. It's not many. These are like 1,000. You can get like 600 for following. You know, you get a couple hundred per hour. So you know, you watch one stream to be able to do that. There you go. New 532 redeeming the pec bounce. You got it. So you can go them together. Or you can do them separated. Give you the angle here. The angle back. Bring them together. Separate wide. There you go. Nah. Okay, let's do this. We'll do this set of raiders, the second set of this. We'll move the lunges and that'll be it. This is kind of fun. I'm getting to experiment with a few new ideas. 2, 3. Not bad. Come on. And one more. All right. It's not like those raider pulls, they expand on the rib cage. The Bulls home gym. It's having fun my gym day. Hell yeah. Yeah, everybody loves the titty bounce. But like, so many people ask for it that I've just had to make it a channel points routine. Otherwise, I'd just be sitting here doing it all day and never getting my workout done. There's nothing wrong with it if you want that, but like, I have to draw a line somewhere. All right, so we're gonna do this. We'll do 3 lunges. Much better. So the lunges, it's saying again about RPE 6 to 7 and sets of 15. So I'm gonna go with, I think 50s on dumbbells. I wanna do it's bodybuilding work. So I think Bulgarians and lunges are gonna be what we stick to for this. I think I'd be best off doing it with dumbbells for that reason. 20, 30, 40, 50, perfect. Whey and milk for protein, among other things. Whey, milk, cheese, nuts, meat. So on a bulk cycle, because I have a much higher calorie input, I can be a little bit more lenient with what types of protein I get, right? So I can indulge in things like peanut butter, whole milk, sausage, fattier cuts of pork, beef. So, it's stuff like that. All right. I give my legs a little bit of a rest before I do this. 33 sets of lunges. Today is Financial Fitness Fridays as well. Probably won't spend a ton of time on it unless there's a lot of questions, because we've got a very special person to raid today. Limitless Fitness is doing a charity stream for a good friend, and I want to support that. I really like carbs. I also fucking love carbs. 35 only got fat quickly. Not sure it's the same for guys. Has nothing to do with carbs. So, carbs and fat balance each other out. If you have more of one, you need to have less of the other. So if you want to lose fat, first off, don't bother in December. Hey, all right. Thank you, Hot Sauce, for the follow. If you want to lose fat, you're doing it at like the worst possible month. I really try to time my bulks with December because cutting weight in December is fucking miserable. There's just too many cookies. You get offered too many delicious things to be. I mean, you're just practicing pain. All you're going to be doing is saying no to everybody all the time, and that's not fun. Ugh, cotton picket sinus infection. Ah, son of a bitch. Anyway, so in general, if you want to lose weight, two things you got to have. Well, okay, sorry. If you want to lose weight, there's one thing you got to have. If you want to lose fat, there's two things you got to have. If you want to lose weight, you need to just simply consume fewer calories than you burn. Simple as. It's a thermodynamics problem. It's not even a biology problem. Your gender, or your age, or your genetics, none of that matters in the face of running the laws of thermodynamics. We all have to follow the same laws of thermo. Now, that has nothing to do with what kind of weight you lose. If you eat nothing but Twinkies, but you eat few enough of them to run a caloric deficit, you'll lose weight, but it's going to be a lot of lost muscle weight because Twinkies have no protein. So you need to have, if you wish to gain muscle or maintain muscle and lose fat, you need to have a relatively high protein, relatively low calorie diet. Whether or not it's higher in fat or higher in carbs, that's really up to the individual, and it doesn't really matter in the long-term scheme of things. I personally prefer carbs over fat because higher fat, lower carb diets are expensive. Very simple. Keto can work, for instance, but the problem with keto is that it is costly. Meat is more expensive than grain. Very simple. So on my cut cycles, I prefer to go with a lot of lean meat, and then whatever spare calories I have, I'm going to allocate more towards vegetables and carbs. The other reason therein being that while it is valuable to have, a different variety of ranges of protein sources, it's probably even more valuable to get a different variety of vegetables in your diet because that's where you get all the micronutrients that keep your body functioning correctly. So for that reason, I tend to be more carb biased. You can absolutely make a keto diet work or a low carb diet work though. If you find that works for you, hey, more power to you, it's great. But for me, I can't justify the cost of a keto diet. I also wouldn't enjoy it because, again, I like carbs. I like rice. I like noodles. I like tortillas. I like tamales. I like stuff like that, you know? All right. So you got our last set of front squats here. Let's go with, Symptom of the Universe. More Black Sabbath. Too much of a goddamn good cook to resist geometry of January's from misery. Exactly. Like, do you really want to cut weight in December? Fuck no. Nobody wants to do that. Look, I think a lot of people look at the way I celebrate Christmas and consider me something of a Scrooge. And funny enough, I actually watched, my opinion, the best rendition of A Christmas Carol yesterday, the 1984 version. Speaking of, I am going to be putting up some for charity this month because what I do is I set a minimum spend every year because I save so much of my income, and I have not met that this year so far, so all the excess goes to charity, which is great. So if you guys have charities you think are worth donating to, please post them in my Discord, so that way I can analyze, review, and select them. I have a few already listed, but I always like new suggestions on that front. All right. So we're gonna go for a set of 10 here. Then we're gonna hit 3 sets of lunges, and that is it. Then tomorrow we're gonna do press. So that's gonna be, that'll be fun. All right, there we go. Symptom of the Universe, Black Sabbath. Come on, you got 10. Strong like bull. Easy. Wait! Not bad. All right, we'll move the lunges, and then that'll be it.
The symptom of the universal love that never dies, yeah.
Yeah, whenever I go home, I always get fed real well by my mom and I put on weight. That's how it is. Of course, my mom lives across the country, so I don't get to go home that often. If I'm lucky, once a year. I am pissed off at myself I didn't get. Let's see what time it is now. Yeah, that says 53. Sounds about right. That's 11, 12C. So we got 3 sets of 15 on lunges. This is Financial Fitness Friday, so we are running a bit low on time today. So I'll probably start talking financial independence stocks. If you guys have questions or want advice, I actually have the whiteboard now. William Jordan T. Robinson, that was your idea, and thank you. So let's do this. 15. 1, 2, 3. Heading back to work row. Hey, if you want to see more hot sauce, I would love to have you on my Discord. By all means, please go check that out. And thanks again for the follow and for the activity. I love active people talking. It makes this so much more fun. Strong like bull, let's go. Three, 4, 5. All right, I might have been off more than I could chew. 6. 'Come on. 3 more. Come on. This bulk got those pecs massive. Yeah, well, the last bulk was, ow. The last bulk ended March 1st of 23, so, you know, it's still December. I got over 2 months of bulking left to go. I'm at 216 right now, which is a little bit ahead of where I want to be, but it's not bad. You know, if the goal is 235, 240, we want that steady climb. BoloFofo143, thank you very much for the follow. I think the next one's going to be Rock and Roll by Motorhead. So we got 2 more sets left when we're done with the lift, and we'll do a little FI talk. And we're going to raid Limitless because they're doing a charity stream. I'm actually going to send Limitless a quick DM, let them know, let her know. There we go. So yeah, someone who, a friend of theirs, is a military family, had a parent pass away recently and they're having trouble paying for the funeral. And as someone, you know, I lost my father in 2020. He served for almost 3 decades in the U.S. Air Force. That hits very close to home, so I very much want to pay it forward with stuff like that. Okay. I'm trying to think of what other food I'm going to eat today. I'm going to try and go a little bit, maybe a bit leaner but higher protein. Maybe see if we can get close to 300 grams of protein. That'd be pretty dope. Pick up some egg whites after this. Probably maybe a couple egg yolk, a couple whole eggs, and then a couple egg whites. Just supplement protein. All right. Let's do this. So I think what I'm going to do is 3 sets of lunges, but the second set will be reverse lunges. There we go. Bump. Yes, gotta love Motorhead. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Strong like bull. Six, 7, 8. 10. Come on, 5 more. 13. 14. 15. All right, one more set. Woo! All right. Let's see here, what did I end up doing? 3 sets of calves, 2 sets of front, 2 sets of wide is 7, 2 pulls, 2 raiders is 11, 3 squats, 15, 1 max squat is 16, 3 lunges is 18. See, that's a lot lower volume, but it's meant to be that way. I'm going to be adding volume as it goes on.
Rock and roll, satisfy my soul. That's all there is. It ain't so bad. I love rock and roll. It saved me from the cold. That's all there is. It ain't so bad.
Are you planning to retire before 30? Okay. I am planning to be able to retire before I'm 30. I want to have the option to do that. I may or may not exercise that option depending on how I'm feeling about my job, which may or may not be changing in 2024. That remains to be seen. How does it work? The simple answer is save a large percentage of your income after either graduating college or entering the workforce. Really, either you can do this without a college degree. You just have to get a skilled trade that pays reasonably well. That's not hard to do. If you want to be a carpenter, a welder, or an electrician, and you work hard, hone your skills, get certs, by the time you're my age, and I'm 28, you'll be making 6 figures easy. It might not necessarily be glamorous work, but there's a reason, electricians get paid really well, plumbers get paid really well, carpenters get paid really well. I'm a mechanical engineer by degree, nuclear industry by trade, or nuclear engineer by trade at this point. The way it worked is, so I graduated, I went to a good, especially for my specific degree, mechanical engineering, which was a very good but reasonably affordable in-state school. For me, at the time, it was Texas, and therefore I went to Texas A&M University. The state I lived in was Texas, I should say. I got my mechanical engineering degree, paid off any debts from that very quickly. I got a job at a defense contractor coming out of college. Originally, I was actually thinking about even joining the Navy, but decided not to do that. Worked there. Wasn't a glamorous job. Wasn't a job I loved. Wasn't the first, wasn't my first choice, but it paid well enough. And I deliberately chose a lower cost of living lifestyle. I bought an efficient car. I didn't go out and buy a big stupid truck and then spend $10,000 lifting it, making it even more big and stupid. I've had roommates the vast majority of my adult life. In fact, pretty much all of my adult life. Even now, as a homeowner, I have 2 roommates. Do I need them? No, but it brings my living costs down very, very low to the point where I'm saving an extremely high percentage of my income. If you want the exact numbers, I'm very happy to explain it. I can write all this down on my whiteboard, but that's the gist of it at first. All right, I'll play one more song to get me through this last set, and then we're done for the day on weights. I may or may not do abs. We're talking depending on how much content there is in the audience, how much talking there is in the audience. So, Bolo Fofo, thank you very much for that question. If you want to elaborate, you want me to elaborate, by all means, the floor is very much yours in chat. Okay. I got 15 more reps, and I'm done. Feeling it in my glutes, that's a good sign. A little bit in my quads, but not a ton. It is 10:55, so yeah, we'll have maybe 10 to 15 minutes to talk, chat, all that jazz, and then probably go raid. NHK, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome to Bullpen. Appreciate it. Strong like bull. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 14. I didn't go to the gym yesterday. It was snowy up here in Calgary. Oh boy. Well, at least you live in the best province of Canada. Good old Canadian Texas, Alberta. All right. So, let's try to let my heart catch up. Try to push your job pays and always have a good salary, at least for my country. Okay, so your mileage may vary. We'll talk about this. Finances. Whew. By all means, ask away any other questions you may want to talk about. So, a good way to start with this is to talk about the Pareto principle, okay, or 80-20, okay? The Pareto principle is basically a form of the law of diminishing marginal returns. How it applies to finances. All right, the Pareto principle. I feel like this is not writing very well, but okay. As effort rises to a max, the marginal returns fall to 0. In other words, as you're getting closer to 100% of something, you're going to see diminishing marginal returns. In other words, every bit more effort you add is not going to help you that much. Here's what I mean, redeem to hydrate, all right? I'm almost out of water, so if anybody else redeems a hydrate, I'll have to go get more. What does this mean? So, let's say, right, there we go. See if this works any better. Oh, that's much better. Okay. So, right, you've got purple marker for the curve. All right, this is what I'm talking about. So, if you look at a distribution of income in most countries, now if you live in different countries, the curve may be shaped slightly differently, but in general, at least here in the West, you have a bell curve. In other words, what percentage of the population is represented on the y-axis, and what percentage of income is represented on the x-axis. In other words, there are very few people making truly nothing, right? As you move up, 10th percentile, 20th percentile, 30th, 40th, 50th, somewhere in the middle here, 60th, 70th, 80th, 90th, and then a 99th percentile, right? There are fewer and fewer people at the absolute tippy top end, right? You'd be a good teacher? Well, that's part of what I've been doing. Here it's just teaching. But someone very wisely pointed out it'd be good to have a visual aid in my Discord, so now I'm going to start doing that. In other words, what does this mean? Well, up to a point, if you're making nothing, just getting even a basic job is already going to move you ahead of like 10 to 20% of the population, even if it's just a nick job, if it's, you're working at McDonald's or you're working at, Starbucks or you're working at Dollar General. You get the point. You're already going to leap ahead of a chunk of the population that's making nothing or just living off of government benefits, okay? Now, it's fairly easy to get to the midpoint. Believe it or not, getting a middle-class salary isn't that difficult in the West, especially in my local area, okay? Unemployment rate here in South Carolina is Unemployment rate in South Carolina is 2.9%. Basically min-maxing your efforts results ratio. Bingo, okay? We're gonna get back to that. So in other words, because the unemployment rate is so low, especially here, getting a middle-class job in South Carolina is pretty easy. We have, in fact, apprenticeship programs that if you wish to, you could get paid about $17 an hour, which in this state is a livable wage, believe it or not, because South Carolina is a very inexpensive place to live. You can get an apprenticeship job, and as you work, as you get better at your craft, you can make more and more money or start your own business. Doing that is a fair amount of effort, but most everyone, as long as you have 4 working limbs and reasonable, aptitude to learn certain skills, most people can do that. Same thing with getting a degree. You either go to college and you get a degree with a reasonable ROI. Now it's harder to get, say, something like an engineering degree, but even something like, an operations degree or a logistics degree, those are things that will usually result in a middle-class salary. So getting to that point, getting in the middle class is fairly easy to do. It's not, a cakewalk, but it can be done by most people. Now, what in the US anyway, okay, in the US, let's see, the marker is, you're going to have a function that looks a bit more like this. No, that's not even, that's not right. Okay? Now, did you max on squat? I did. I hit 410. People were saying it looked deep enough. I failed on 415. I actually kind of cut up my finger to show for it. Too much effort, not enough reward. Bye. Okay, so now let's talk about spending, okay? This bottom graph is talking about what percentage of population is still the y-axis, and this is the spend rate as a percentage of someone's income. In other words, what percentage of your income are you spending? So the US average savings rate is 94%, which means, or savings rate is 6%, which means the spend rate is 94%. 410, by the way, is a PR, so you got to squat 420. Well, I failed on 415, so I got a little ways to go, but I think I can do 420 if I get a little bit stronger. Anyway, so the average American spending rate is 94% of your income, okay? So what this says is there is a large area, right, to get closer to a lower spend rate of your income. So in other words, what's much more valuable in terms of getting your way towards financial independence, you got to learn, okay, that's fair. What's much more valuable towards getting your way of financial independence is, right, as you try to increase your income further and further, you're gonna have to work harder and harder to get every individual little percentage. It's the Pareto principle. Now, that's also true for spending, but because the average is all the way over here to 6%, there's a huge area kind of left where improvements can be made that most Americans just refuse to make because most Americans are pretty poor with their money. We don't have much in the way of financial literacy classes taught in this country, particularly at the high school level. And a lot of people make really poor money decisions. So if you can find ways to optimize your spending, you can drastically cut your spending rate as a percentage of your income. And the savings rate and spending rate is the key to financial independence. Here's the thing. When it comes to financial independence, it is not about how much money you make beyond a basic subsistence level. It is about what percentage of your income that you spend, okay? Here's what I mean by that. Let's assume, I need a towel. Oh my God, my legs. I need a towel. Let's assume for a moment, okay? There we go. Let's assume for a moment work remotely for a country abroad, they pay me in my country's currency, potentially earn 3 times that amount doing the same job. See, now that's a rare instance of, yeah, you could make more income fairly easily. I would consider doing that. Now, let's take this spending rate for instance, okay? So what do I mean by spending rate? How does that work? Well, it's a very simple curve, okay? If you have see here. Okay, what we have here, we have your working career in years and your savings rate. Now the dotted line is going to be a low interest rate environment or a low rate of return environment. The curved line, the more this curves like a bow and arrow, that's going to be the higher the return on investment you're getting. Okay, so historically on average, you get about 7% post-inflation. You get 7% real returns from the S&P 500. That's the historical average since the late 19th century. Okay, so it's fairly reliable. It's been working pretty well, pretty much since, you know, the industrial age, the second industrial revolution. We've had pretty reliable 7% post-return results. Now, some decades you're not going to get that. That's what secrets of returns risk is. We'll get there. But most often, you know, for every bad decade you get, you know, a 1930s or a 1970s or a 2000s, you're going to get a good decade. You're going to get the 1980s, the 1990s, the 1950s, you know, the 1920s, right? So in general, it averages out to about 7% on a long enough term. So what does this mean? Well, the rule of 72 states that a 7% return on investment equals your money, if left alone, will double about every 10 years. In other words, this is using the Charlie Munger principle. Charlie Munger, rest in peace to a legend, said that the most important thing, I don't care what you have to do, is get $100,000 invested in the bank. If you can get $100,000 invested in the bank before you turn 30, you no longer have to worry about retirement. You've done it in the long term, because just leave that money alone. 7% on average means it'll be $200,000 by your 40s. Let's say you get $100,000 at age 30. And that's doable, okay? If you start working at 22, right, that means you need to save between $10,000 and $12,000 a year. At most places in the US with most jobs, that is doable. Might mean you're missing out on some of the fun things your other people in your 20s are doing, but that's a very reasonable, that's a 20% savings rate. Most people can hack that, right? Average salary is about $50,000 a year. You're saving $10,000 a year. There you go, right? And you got to remember, even when you just start, that money's already going to be collecting interest. So getting $100,000 by the time you're you're at 30, yeah, $10,000 a year for 8 of those 10 years seems about reasonable. So you get 100,000 at age 30. You get historical average returns. By the time you're 40, it's going to be 200,000. By the time you're 50, it's going to be 400,000. By the time you're 60, it's going to be 800,000. By the time you're 70, if you choose to work that long, that'll be 1.6 mil. You can retire and be very comfortable on 1.6 mil. If you can't move to a lower cost of living area, okay? Unless you're making big money, living in a place like New York City or San Francisco does not make sense. You have to be earning the paycheck to justify a higher cost of living area, or you have to be independently wealthy at that point. It's that simple. If you want to optimize your finances, it's very wise to move to a lower cost of living area, such as rural South Carolina. A lot of people have moved from California to Texas for this reason. Now, Californians, I do wish you'd leave your politics in California, but I'm not going to stop you because I left Texas. Anyway, the point here is that if you can get your savings rate up just enough to start this going on, your savings rate, right, it's a double-ended weapon. The first one, or not a double-ended weapon, a double-tipped weapon. The first part is that if you have your savings rate in the short run, you're going to be saving more money. That's obvious. The second is that means if you can continue that savings rate over a long term, you need less money to live on. If you need less money to live on, you need less money invested to get out. How much less? A factor of 10 to 30. So if you can live on $10 a year less, that means you can live off of $100 to $300 a year invested less. So it's a big amount of money over time, right? And $10 a year, that's 85 cents a month. Everybody's got that kind of wiggle room in their budget. And if you don't, you're probably not making enough income to where you can probably find easy ways to increase your income. So where am I going with this? All right. As your savings rate increases, let's just say you want to be conservative and avoid sequence of returns. So you're going to want a withdrawal rate of roughly, let's just say 4%, okay? So 4% withdrawal rate. If you are saving just 10% of your income, you're going to have a working career of about 45 years, all right? You're going to be working pretty much your entire adult life if you're only saving 10% of your income. If you save less than 10% of your income, you're going to need government assistance, Social Security, to retire at all. Please, for the love of God, do what you have to do. You need to have a savings rate at least in the double digits. And if you're not, take a good hard look at your budget. You're probably pissing money away somewhere. You probably have a leak in your game. So now if you get to 25%, okay? You've cut your working career down to about 30 years. That's a big jump, okay? Right? If you start work at 22, that means you can retire in your early 50s. All you gotta do is save a quarter of your income. That's not that bad if you think about it, right? Saving a quarter of your income, if you are in the United States, you make an average salary of about $50,000 a year. That's saving $12,500, and say after taxes, it means you've got about $30,000 a year to live on. That's doable. You can. It's not easy, but you can live off of $30,000 a year. It's not going to be glamorous, but it's very, very doable. Now, if you live in a very expensive area and you're making only $50K, you probably are going to have to you're probably going to have to forego owning a car. You're probably going to have to live with roommates. But if you're living in a much more expensive area, right? If you live in New York City, the average salary is a lot higher than $50,000 a year. If you live out in the sticks, it's a lot lower. So there's a yin and yang here. If you live in a place like San Francisco, getting a $75,000 job is a lot easier than if you live in rural Mississippi, okay, for instance. So 50%. What if you're able to save half of your income? The amount of years you have to work falls to 17. Okay, now you're talking retire in your 40s. A lot of people, that's where the eyebrows start coming up. Ooh, retire at 40? That's a huge deal. Or, right, even if you're saving 50% of your income, even if you don't want to retire at 40, you can say, okay, well, I'm going to retire at 50, but that means in those earlier years, if I've been, focused on the saving through your 20s and your early 30s, okay, say you get to 30, 35, and you've saved a lot of that income, I want to gear down, go to 25% savings rate. You can do that, and it's not going to add that many years to your working career. Let's say if you want to start a family, and obviously if you have a family, your expenses are going to raise. You don't have to raise super, super high, but obviously a family is going to cost more than being single. Now, if you have a partner, this becomes very, very easy because you can have, it's economics of scale. You can live in the same place. You can share and bulk buy food. You can, split the electric bill, split the internet bill. You can carpool if, that's the way it works. Stuff like that, very useful. Now, let's say you really embrace the FIRE lifestyle and you go a little bit more extreme. You can get to 75% income, the amount of years you got to work falls to single digits. In other words, if you want to retire, if you've started working at age 22 and you want to retire by the time you're 30, you need to be saving between 75 and 80% of your income. That's about what I've been doing. As a result, I'm going to be hitting that financial independence marker between now and my 30th birthday, in all likelihood. Now, if the stock market tanks, obviously I'm not going to hit that. But in the long run, stock market will come back. It usually does. And even when it takes time to do it, the Great Depression, if a second Great Depression comes, right, all that money you invested, you'll be working and poor as opposed to working and broke. So if the stock market crashes, everybody's like, oh, but what if the market crashes? Okay, you're still doing way better because you're living on way less than the average person who is living paycheck to paycheck. And if they lose their job, they're a lot more fucked than you are. You have a much bigger cushion to weather the hard times. May not be ideal, but you're doing better. So that's the whole point. And obviously, right, if you're able to save, say, 85, 90% of your income, you're talking 5 or less years to retirement or financial independence. And here's the fun part, right? Just because, right, if let's say, I get to the FI point, which is what I'll be probably around age 30. Right now I'm about 85% of the way there. Let's say I get to that point and I'm like, well, but I like my job, so I'll continue working. Well, now, right, you're increasing that cushion so you can live a cushier lifestyle, or you can take all that excess money you've been saving and spend it on things you care about. Maybe that means charitable work. Maybe that means political work. Maybe that means, any number of things, indulging in your hobbies and lifestyle. Buying off one-time expenses that you won't have to worry about. So like, let's say, okay, I know in the long run, if I installed solar panels on the roof of my house, my long-term expenses would fall. But if I work one extra year past my FI date, I can pay for all that up front, have lower expenses in retirement, and boom, right? Now I've created a little extra wedge for myself, a little extra cushion for myself, and paid for it, up front. That's just an example, right? So it's really about how much can you delay the gratification, how much can you say no to the endless consumerism push. So that's the lecture. Do we got any questions about that? That's a pretty good basic roundup. I brought the whiteboard in. I feel like that was really. I don't know. Was the whiteboard helpful? I felt like it was helpful. It felt to me like I was able to illustrate the concepts a little bit better. And there are a ton of great resources and calculators to prove this point. I can talk about those. I've posted a lot about those in the Discord. So we are probably going to raid Limitless Fitness. So we are going to. She's doing a fundraiser, a charity fundraiser for a friend in a military family who's had a family death. So we really want to help them out. So it's going to be a charity fundraiser. It's going to be a lot of fun. Do we have any other questions before we raid? We're going to be raiding Limitless Fitness. So the raid message will be, bring you guys in. Bull Rush. So I hope that's a good way to illustrate the concepts. You guys, yeah. So it's helpful. There are a lot of things to think about. Absolutely. And if you guys want more advice or you want to see a little bit more of my musings on this, a little bit better explanations of the concepts, come check out my Discord. There's a lot of really good advice there. There's some other really smart people on my Discord. And if you know, if you want to just hang out with me off hours, that's where I hang out most of the time is my Discord. So strongly recommend that if you feel like hanging about. It's lit. It's cool. We've got Limitless on here. So we are going to, oh God, my back is sore. All right, we are going to rate Limitless Fitness. Yeah. Okay, so Limitless is awesome. This is for a fundraiser stream, y'all. So definitely stick around, give her a follow, say something nice, ask her about the fundraiser. Hopefully we can do something good for something. All right. As always, that's it for me. So I want y'all to make good decisions. Good decisions form your habits. As habits form your values. As values form an ethos. Can be the guide star through the rough waters of life. I will be live again at 9 a.m. tomorrow. We're going to be doing press. And that's about it for me. So much love. Come in for the hug. Let's go spread some joy. Alrighty, YouTube, that'll be it. Always good to see you. Take it easy.